G'day traders, Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. Daily currency levels for the British pound crosses. Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. We're into May already, and today on the schedule we've already had the RBA Aussie rate cash statement. We have the German Constitutional Court ruling tentatively on the European markets, and 8:30 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time Canadian trade balance, and 10 a.m. U.S. ISM non-manufacturing. Tomorrow evening for New York at 6:45 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, 6:45 a.m. Perth time, we have the New Zealand dollar and employment change, so an early one tomorrow. Just looking at today's pound Aussie, yesterday we saw the pound Aussie have a nice strong move down off that peak formation, false break reversal above 9,500, and then pulling back, moving strongly down, hitting stops that were up high, higher level long stops, consolidating, and then moving down again 1, 2, 3 towards the original breakout from above the 92.50 level. We do have possibly a re-entry back below that peak, and we could see that market retest the 92.50. How it handles that 92.90, 9300 area will give us an idea. This market possibly could be in for a second day continuation for a measured move down. This bullpen could be we'll just blow this up for traders. Some traders have commented they can't see everything on the screen capture. Right now this is as good as I can do it for you. I'm sorry. I'm working on looking at some new software. So hopefully this will work for now. But a measured move just to the bullpen, and the pullback takes us down to around the 91.75 area. And again, how it handles that 9,300 level on the breakout, 92.50 and 9,300 above the original breakout will give us some feedback. When we head towards the 15-minute chart, we can see this market has consolidated underneath of the U.S. session lows after a 1 push, 2 push, 3 push pattern and a 50 pip drop. A 1 push up, 2 pushes up. Currently testing the low of the day. Traders, it wouldn't surprise me if we see just consolidate this, a test of the low for a stop hunt high, and then a third push all the way down, breaking the lows of the day. Now, if the market was to work the low and come back up, we could see a retest of that swing high above 93.50, and of course the high of the day. But again, this is 1 push, 2 pushes, possibly a retest for a retest of the lows, and a push up for a retest of the overall low of the day, and possibly a continuation down inside of that 92.50 box. We are inside of that beneath the U.S. session lows last night, and currently they've stop hunted high. We could, in that secondary, retest the low of the day for a stop hunt back up towards the swing high at 93.50, or even just in the 93.50 for a move back down to retest the stops below 9300. And we're heading there right now. Next up is our pound Canadian. Again, we saw that pin hammer print yesterday and break below the higher level stops below 75.50 before consolidating, and again a similar scenario, retesting the 7,500 level. The market briefly broke through the lower box. This market, if it was to fall through 7,500, could test the lows, and there's not a lot to stop that from falling all the way back down. Again, this area may have a bit of order flow sitting in there in where the breakout originally occurred, but if we break through and retest the lows underneath 7,500, we could see that market possibly retest the original breakout that came around the 7,300 level. When we look at our 15-minute chart, the market is consolidated inside of the Asian high-low, currently testing the low of the day. Again, a similar scenario where we could come back up one more time to hit the high of the day, retesting that 75.50 for a move back down through the lows of yesterday and a continuation of that move off the peak formation on Friday. Stop hunting traders from Thursday's U.S. session longs. There's lots of room for this market to fall, but again, possibly a stop hunt low first and then hitting the high before reversing to come back down towards that U.S. session long. Next up is our pound Swiss. And again, we saw the pin hammer print Friday and the market sell off into the close and then consolidating yesterday, possibly looking for a continuation. We didn't get that. The market has given us an engulfment above that 2,000 level, currently pulling away up towards that 2050 level. We may even have a retest of the breakout from the swing low at 2069, which isn't too far away. Currently, that market has continued to make higher highs. If it was to fall or not able to get support at 2000 and retest the lows from yesterday's lows at 1963, we could fall right through again, similar towards last week's breakout lows. The other scenario is this market could push up a little higher to pull back and give us a little mini double bottom for a retest back up towards the breakout and Friday swing highs. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see this market has cleared the stops from the U.S. session swing highs from Friday night. Currently testing the U.S. session shorts and stop hunting up there. We could again see some resistance around that 2050 level at the high of the day. This market has pushed up almost 50 pips, so we could see some consolidation and a stop hunt back towards traders who were long off the Asian Open. Now again, if this market was to weaken and roll over, we could get a measured move through the low of yesterday, taking us back down towards the swing lows from 2 weeks ago, down towards that 1900 level. The other scenario is that if this market does continue to move higher and trend, we could get a stop hunt back to the breakout level from yesterday's high before continuing back through 2050 and moving back towards the breakout from London session shorts at the 2100 level. Currently, we are pushing into the upper part of that 50 pip box. If we see the market go into consolidation, we'll either look to see a stop hunt back down or a breakthrough, pull back, and a continuation long. Next up is our pound yen. Again, on our 4-hour chart, we see the market had stop hunted down low and consolidated. We thought we might see a follow through yesterday. We didn't get that. The market has stayed in consolidation, giving us a bit of a micro double bottom and a 1-2-3 currently. This market possibly may retest that 3250 level again, as we've found a bit of selling pressure as evidenced by these tails in the upper part of that consolidation. If this market was to fall through 3250, it has room to fall still, even testing that 130 level, which is 250 pips away. The move up on Friday was quite aggressive and vertical, so it's possible we may see a retest of that lower 250 pip box. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we see the peak formation that came on Thursday night, and then the creeping trend down from Friday into yesterday's session where the market consolidated. We are currently still inside of the U.S. session highs as well as the lows. The market has gone sideways and is pushing up in that last 3-hour window as we head into the Europe Open. We could still see them stop hunt to 3,300 and the high of the U.S. session, consolidate for a retest back down towards today's low as well as the low of Monday for a continuation of that move back down. Just to show that in a little bigger volume, we have stops sitting down at 3250 below last week's U.S. session lows on Wednesday at 3240 and down below 3200. So there is still room for this market to possibly roll over and drop down to the lows of last week. We are inside of last week's trading range still. Pound New Zealand. Again, on our 4-hour chart, we saw that market move aggressively downwards off that 1-2 reversal at the highs of last week. pulling back briefly, stop hunting traders that were short and moving down and consolidating at the lows of that range just above 530. The market is currently stop hunted through the lows. It is possible we could see that market retest the 500 level box and possibly even fall through for a measured move of yesterday's range back down into the lower box. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see that market has currently broken through yesterday's lows. And again, similar to the pound Aussie, we could see that market still stop hunt high for a rollover at 550 and a continuation back through the low of the day. So a 1, 2, 3 down, possibly a 1, 2, 3 back up to the high of the day. And then a measured move back through the lows. And again, plenty of room for this market to move to Thursday's U.S. session longs to continue that move down. We do have possibly a topping pattern in place, 1 push, 2 push, dropping down, and then a third push yesterday, and a 1, 2, 3 in the U.S. session before dropping down, consolidating into today's session. Stayed inside of the Asian range before just breaking out now, and again we may see a retest on a 1, 2, 3 back to the highs before consolidating and possibly rolling over for the move back down to the lows. If that market was to go long, just to clarify, we would see these highs taken out and possibly the high of the day tested before pulling back, or a consolidation down low for a stop on high, consolidating and continuing on through the longs. Currently though, I would say that market is going to retest that the 550 box and possibly consolidate for a move back down at least to the double zeros. And lastly, we have our British pound. Again, yesterday the market found some support around the 2400 level before consolidating 1, 2, and then a little pin hammer beside the 2-bar reversal with the inside bar, stop hunting back towards the high of the week. This market possibly may retest the upper box of 2500. Currently we are in a 1, 2 sideways 3-bar pattern towards the highs. There are stops at the low of the week and the swing lows of last week at 23.88. There is room for this market to fall. If it was to continue, we would probably see a little bit further push and a consolidation and a retest of the 2500 level. When we look at our 15-minute chart, again we can see the peak formation that was put in place Thursday before the creeping trend that gradually fell on Friday into yesterday's session. The market had a two-sided trading range, hitting both sides, the upper and lower highs and lows, before consolidating in the U.S. session, shifting up not quite 50 pips, but back towards the high of yesterday's London session. So we're inside of yesterday's trading range. We could see this market retest the highs before stop hunting back towards the Asian longs, possibly consolidating and continuing that move back down towards the swing lows from Thursday's session and yesterday's session. If this market was to continue long, we'll see it break above yesterday's high and consolidate, and possibly continue through the swing highs from Friday's U.S. session close. We'll just blow this up a bit more. Hopefully that makes sense, traders. Again, we're currently inside of yesterday's trading range, still up near the highs of the day, the London session longs, and up near the 2475 level. So we could see a bit of consolidation and a reversal pattern come off of that for a retest of today's lows as well as yesterday's, or a breakthrough and a pullback for a continuation towards testing the upper 2500 and Friday's swing shorts. Just in closing, traders, a little quote from Paul Tudor Jones. Trading is very competitive, and you have to be willing to handle getting your butt kicked. And I can't think of anything more truer than in trading. Learn from every single trade. Taking losses is part of the game. Ride your winners. Keep getting better every single trade. 1% improvement. We talk about this all the time. How good can you get, traders? Have a great trading day. Make it better than yesterday. Execute your trading process as flawlessly as possible. And may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, The 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.